it gets complicated fast.
Let's unpack that a bit. What kinds of AI companions are we talking about?
He breaks it down into categories. Professional AICs, like for legal stuff or medical help.
Yeah.
Emotional and personal companions, basically for people who are lonely. Then there's health and well-being AICs to keep track of your health, remind you about meds, that kind of thing.
I can see those being helpful, especially for people who need extra care.
Definitely. But then you've got AICs designed for, well, intimate relationships, and that's where things get really epically tricky.
AI and romantic partners. Now we're in uncharted territory. What does consent even mean in that context? And what does that do to our understanding of real relationships?
Exactly the questions Dr. Goodarzi raises. He talks about how simulated consent could mess with our ideas of boundaries, healthy relationships. It's a slippery slope.
So AI, boyfriends, girlfriends, that's a whole other can of worms we need to think about before it becomes the norm.
Right. And even with the less intense types of AICs, there's still the issue of bias. If the AI is trained on biased data, it could end up reinforcing those biases, which would be bad news.
Like imagine an AI companion that's subtly racist or sexist
Ew.
because of the data it learned from. Not good.
Not good at all. That's why Dr. Goodarzi stresses transparency and accountability. We need to know how these AIs are making decisions, what data they're using, and how to prevent them from causing harm.
So as cool as AI companions could be, we need to be super careful, make sure they're developed ethically.
Absolutely. And it's not just a national thing. AI crosses borders, right? So now you've got different legal systems, cultural norms, ethical frameworks. How do we deal with that?
Okay, now we're talking global level complexity. This is getting intense.
It is, and Dr. Goodarzi dives deep into these global challenges, even offers some potential solutions, but it's definitely not a simple fix.
Wow, my head's spinning a bit. We've gone from what makes a person to AI rights to robots taking our jobs to AI companions.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, but all these things, they're connected. And to understand virtual persons, we got to look at it from all angles.
And I have a feeling Dr. Goodarzi has even more to say about where this is all going. What kind of future trends does he see on the horizon?
Oh yeah, he definitely doesn't stop there. He goes into some pretty mind-blowing predictions about where this whole virtual person thing could be headed.
Okay, hit me with it. What's in store for humanity? Robot overlords.
Let's hope not. But seriously, Dr. Goodarzi talks about AI becoming even more autonomous, more complex. Like, imagine AI making decisions that right now only humans can handle.
So not just playing chess, but like negotiating treaties, running companies,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Exactly. And he talks about AI becoming more emotionally and cognitively sophisticated too, which raises a whole bunch of questions about our relationships with AI.
Right, like if an AI can understand and respond to your emotions, is it still just a machine? That line starts to blur.
And legally, things get really interesting. Dr. Goodarzi thinks we might see whole new legal categories emerge, like electronic personhood, which obviously brings up a ton of issues around liability, accountability.
So like if your self-driving car gets an accident, who's at fault? The car, the owner, the company that made the AI.
Yeah.
My head hurts just thinking about
Do you
it.
know, right? It's a legal minefield, but it's stuff we got to figure out because this tech is only going to get more advanced. Dr. Darcy's not saying it's all doom and gloom, though. He also sees a lot of potential for good if we do this right.
Okay, so less robot apocalypse, more. Figuring out how to live and work alongside these virtual beings. But how do we make sure that happens? How do we steer this in the right direction?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Dr. Goodarzi talks a lot about responsible development, ethical guidelines, and this isn't just on the shoulders of scientists and programmers.
Right. This is a societal thing. We all have a role to play.
Exactly. He talks about the need for public dialogue, for people to get informed and involved in shaping these policies, because ultimately it's going to affect all of us.
It's almost like we're at this fork in the road. And the choices we make now about how we develop AI, how we integrate it into society, those choices are going to determine what our future looks like.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. This isn't just about robots. It's about what kind of world we want to create. And it's up to all of us to decide.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've gone from what makes a person to robots demanding rights to AI companions blurring the lines of relationships. It's been a wild ride.
It really has. And this is just the beginning. The world of virtual persons is only going to get more complex, more fascinating, and more important for all of us to understand.
Absolutely. So keep those brains buzzing, keep asking questions, and join us next time as we delve into another mind-blowing topic that's shaping our future. Until then, stay curious.